Hi, hello, g'day, kia ora, welcome to the studio. I'm Paula from MoxyMojo. Thank you for joining me for day 15, or the 15th of December, for Dephemerember 2025. Our prompt for today is belly band and butterfly labels. Now, I'm pretty sure that you have probably been wondering when this day was going to happen, and today is that day. And for me, that is when are we going to get messy. Up till now, I've been relatively tame, shall we say, but all of that is going out the window. I figured we were far enough through. I'd lulled you into this safe sense of security. Now it is time to throw you a curveball. So our snack for the day is trolley candy pizza. We have 5 slices in here. That really does not look much like a pizza to me, but never mind, we will try. Brings back memories of childhood. What can I say? And our tea for the day, and this is one that Tanya sent me. This is Twinings Chai Vanilla Flavoured. I was getting ahead of myself. Supposed to be spicy and soothing, a light strength. So I've made up iced tea, iced tea without the ice, so it's a cold tea. I added a little bit of almond milk and no sweeteners or sugar. So another packet for our collection. You can taste that beautiful chai taste. Very faint vanilla, but I'm getting more the spicy taste to it. So hopefully we will find that nice and refreshing. Right. Let's jump into it. Belly bands. Now I thought I would see how many belly bands I can make in like about a 5-minute period. Pretty much using whatever I've got on my desk, almost. So grab some things out of Robin's scraps that she sent me. Now, when I make belly bands, I try to make them so that they will fit my normal standard, height of a journal, or if I'm doing a horizontal one, the width. So let's bring out our trusty, and this is an A5 size, so it's A4 folded in half. It's what I normally make my journals out of. So I did find these. Now this is it's collaged onto the back of a book page, so I quite like that. I mean, it's not tall enough for what I'd really like, but that doesn't mean I can't either attach a little bit more on or just use it on a shorter page. So, and this has got this really cool bit of tape here that I love, and Robin got back to me and said that was off a pianola chart thingy that you put in a play music on a pianola. So that would be quite cool to save that for posterity. I am just going to trim at what seems like a good idea. So that's about 2 inches. So yeah, let's go for that. So there's one belly band made, and I quite like the fact that this side is torn. I spotted these, and these are the offcuts. From the bookmark. So we've got these, and like there, that's definitely big enough. So we can trim across the top and cover those with something. So we've got those. And then I also spotted these sitting beside my desk. These are some snippet strips that I made a while ago. So it's just backed onto a very thin, and like, so craft paper, I think these are. Oh no, there we go. That's long strips of cards, and they're like offcuts from some printables that I had. So that's card stock. They're more off prints. So yeah, so all sorts, I mean whatever you've got you can use, but I thought, oh, with that butterfly idea, there may be, you know, one of these green ones. So we'll put the red, or like we go for neutral, or even yellow. But no, I like the green. So I've got those. And so we can just pick one. And I like the shiny bits on that one, so I'll stick with that one. And then from Tanya, we've got quite a good selection here. So this is something she's backed it onto, like, looks like craft cardboard. So we can use that and trim that down. So that would make a good belly band, and it's, you know, right height. This I really spotted. So this is packaging from something. And I thought that would make an awesome, I think it's like tissues or something. And that would make an awesome belly band. And then we could always, like, you can just trim off the top. So I might just straighten this one. So we'll put those over there. So I just want to straighten this. We know that that's a straight line, straight side. So there. And there. So that's one side. And then we're going to do the same on this side. I just want to straighten these sides. And also, so that gives us 2.5 inches. So that's quite a wide belly band. You know, for what I would normally use or make. And then we just need to now trim this bottom just a smidge. But I love the red colour. I'm always looking for red, especially this vibrant. Let's just quickly pick some and go for it, because it's more than my 5 minutes. So I definitely want to use one of those two. We've got our blue one. I do love that. I might stick with that. And then we've got that. So that is enough. I'm going to leave that at that height. I'm going to leave that at that height. That's okay. That one there, I might just kind of cut that, because I want those two bits with the silver on. So I'm going to cut that about there. That's that one. I'm not going to do all of these, I don't think, but I'm just keeping my options open. And then these, I am going to cut the narrower one, because that gives me a narrow belly band, and I'm going to, so yep, that's plenty tall enough. So long as I cut it, I'm going to cut it at that main fold. There. That's it. Alright. Belly bands are one of the easiest things to pick out of. Perfect to make out of masterboards. But right, for now, we've got you know, straight away got 5. I should have, like, cut this even. Yeah, let's just bring it back. But who said it has to be even? So, but no, I think no, let's make it uneven. So I'll leave that one at, so we're looking at 2 3/4. So if I leave or cut this at, say 1 1/2, I think, yeah, that, and that'll give me a narrow but uneven one, if that makes sense. Right. So this one goes out. It's not as noticeable as when it was still attached, but that's okay. I don't mind. So we've got that. So we've got a choice of these 5 to work on. I mean, we've got really wide going through to quite narrow. So that's a good option there. This one we just need to cover. Now we're looking at, so we've got, I was looking at maybe that or one of those, I think. So then that would look quite cool. And these are some of the scraps that Tanya sent me. I mean, that one I think was last year. So was this. I don't know, I'm leaning towards that green. That one I love. That one's not quite long enough. Neither is that. So, yep, the green one it is. So, all I'm going to do is, like, glue this on and wrap it around. So, that way or that way. I think I like this side. So we're going to glue this onto here very quickly. Oops, it's popped up. Alright, so right, cool. And I want to leave, now I'm going to leave a little bit more, about there, because I want to wrap this all the way over so that when I'm putting things underneath, they're not going to get caught and like pull anything out from underneath. So we've got there, we're going to wrap this up. I just need to work out, so we'll fold this one over this side, and then I can work out where I need to cut this to. Oh, doesn't that look gorgeous? Yes, stunning. And then we need to work out where we are trimming this to. So that is to like there, and that is to there, because this is longer than, longer than my page, so I can go work up or down depending on which way I want to go, but I don't need to worry about folding this over, because I'll probably fold it over to shorten it, if that makes sense. Or maybe I will just put over a wee bit. So now for this, we need to go to, I'd say, about there. Alright, so metal ruler. So that was about there, and I'm just eyeballing it as, yep, that looks about right. Okay, so now we will glue this shorter side over. Might as well glue the whole lot. I should actually just make sure I do a line there. And I think this was just like drop paper, Tanya said. I don't know, it looks really amazing to me. And I probably could have used my glue stick if I wanted to, but I didn't want to. There we go. And I don't mind the wrinkles in it. And then I can clearly see, you know, where it ends, and I can fold that up if I want to, or like trim it off. But I'm just going to leave that as it is, and we've got the top there. So that's quite a good height. Right, pin in there. Okay, so we've got our belly bands. Alright, let's put them aside. We've, and that is like stage 1 and 2. I'm not going to do anything else more to them. We've covered this one. I love this one, so I'm going to leave it red. The only thing I might do, and I'll wait until I get further down the process, is I might just ink the sides and like top and bottom, just to get rid of that, you know, white core. I might add some colour and inking to here, but then I also might just add some stamping again once we get further through the process. And these two I like just the way they are, though again I might just ink the sides once we get down to that stage. So the next thing we're going to do is work on our what's going to go on to our belly band, and that is our butterflies in this instance. So this is where we're going to get messy. So I'm just going to clear, I need my glass mat for this next step, so I'm just going to clear this off, and then we'll get down to getting messy. Okay, so I've got 2 sheets of single-sided 130 gram matte photo paper. gloves on, sexy orange apron on, and we have our glass mat. So apologies for the light glare that you're about to get. I'm going to do 2 sheets, even though I only need, you know, 1 at most. But I thought that'll give me, you know, plenty to play about with, because I'm not sure how this is going to go. I am going to try something different. It is a, you know, a technique I've done before. You will have seen it if you've seen any of my planner videos. I am going to put some of the re-inkers directly onto the craft mat, spray in some water, and then drop the photo paper into here and smush it about. So I just need to shake these up, and then we'll get mixing and shaking and seeing what happens. Okay, so I've had my workout for the day, and I am now thoroughly exhausted from shaking all these bottles. And my arms are going to let me know about it tomorrow. Right, I am going to shake them a little bit as I pour them out. For this, I want to really kind of mix up my colours. I'm going to do warms first, and then follow that with cool colours. Or, you know, depending on how things end up. So I just want to do like, I don't want to have like 2 big blobs. I just want them to be quite small. And we got like ink going everywhere already. So that was fossilized amber. This is wild honey. And we've got spiced marmalade. And I'm trying to do sort of like 4 or 5 drops of each colour, but they're like really quite small drops. So this is worn lipstick. And like some of them you're not going to see, you're just going to see like a mesh of colour. But that's kind of what we want. Whoops, there's a few more of that one. This is abandoned coral. And like some of them look surprisingly alike. Right, okay, so now we've got picked raspberry. And we've got candied apple. So yeah, I am using a lot of colours, but that's what I want. I want your real kind of mix of colours for this. Hopefully I'm not going to have any one colour that's, you know, really overly predominant. So this is Rusty Hinge. This is a new one, new re-inker. And then last is Seedless Preserves. Which is kind of borderline cool and as well as the warm, but I'm putting it in here. And then I'm going to include 2 just distress inks. So mustard seed, because I quite like the way the oxides and the distress inks react with each other. Interact, that's what I'm thinking. Not interact. What kind of word's that, Paula? and picked raspberry. So we've got both the oxide and the distress ink of this. And again, yeah, just not too much. I'm just trying to do like one drop of each of them. Oops, that's on, yep. So now I'm going to spray quite a bit of water. Oh, that looks quite nice. And now, I think it's that side down I need. So there. That might have been the wrong side. Try that side. Oh, well, either way it will have colour. No, I think it must be that side. I'm not sure. Because normally I use like double-sided, so maybe I should have used double-sided for this. But I'm okay. Yep, no, that's cool. Happy with that. Alright, so now I'm going to leave this like that. Don't need 100% coverage. And I'm going to put that onto my trusty paper bag. Put that to one side. And then I'm going to do a clean up with some book pages, which I just have sitting to one side of me. Okay, so this is how they've turned out so far. Now, one thing I realised after, as I was heat drying them, was that I forgot to put our distress inks in the second one. And you can see those colours are really distinct in here, which they're not in here. But I kind of love the effect that we've got going on in this one. So I particularly want to add a bit more, and we're going to try with like the blues and greens on down this end more, and kind of on this corner here. So we'll see what we get, you know, adding the blues. Okay, so these are now completely dry. They're probably at what a lot of you are thinking is the ugly stage, but I love how they've turned out. I don't mind that this one is a bit sort of blurry and this one's really intense. I'm interested to see how they both turn out. So I've got my foam stamping mat, and I have pulled out some archival inks. I've got some browns, and then I've got sienna, sepia and coffee. I have my yellows, which is chrome yellow, saffron and pale ochre. And then I've got these three archival inks, which is garden patina, potting soil and sunflower, and they're the Wendy Vici ones. They're the only small ones I've got. I don't have any of the distress archival. I think that's what they're called. Stamps I'm using are going to be all sorts, but they're those that are kind of like label orientated, and I'm wanting them to be stamped almost quite light on here. We're going to see how that turns out. So what I think I might do is actually start with this one, see how we go, and we'll go from there. So put some stamps over there, and let's just pick out some label stamps. So some of them are going to be like label outlines. some are going to be actual labels, so we'll see what happens. But let's start with a nice big one, shall we? It says field label on it, so it's got to be a label. And I'm going to try this with sunflower, which is kind of leaked. As I've found with like a lot of my yellow stamps, they seem to leak. Alright, so alright, there, and let's go. Alright, and no rhyme or reason as to where these are stamping, just wherever they land. That's cool. It's actually come up quite dark, considering how like bright it is. But that's okay. I can live with that. Have you got any cleaning juice left in you? Okay, so we have stamped all over this, and some of them will stand out, some of them don't. So stand out a bit more on this one. You see some of the stamps there. But that's cool. That's exactly what I want. So now the last bit of stamping we're going to do is our butterfly aspect. And I have got a selection of butterfly stamps. And we are just going to stamp away. So let's try this stamp now, because this is the one I really hope will work. This one here. So we're going to use the stamp platform, and we're going to swap pages over. Plenty of ink there, and now we are going to stamp down here, and I'm really just pushing it down, making sure I've got really good contact, hoping this is going to work, because I have to come up with plan B if it doesn't. Alright, so that's what we want. Awesome. So we can do this. So I'll do maybe, I can do like 2 or 3 of this stamp on each page. Now and again I'm just going to be random stamping wherever with this stamp and the other butterfly stamps. Okay, so no, I haven't completed the sheets in terms of stamping butterflies, but I've got enough of a idea there now to know, or at least enough of a sample to know that yes, it will work how I wanted it to work. So I can leave the rest till, you know, next time I want some butterflies. So what we're going to do now, or what I'm going to do now, is fussy cut out some butterflies for us to finish off our belly band. So we will, I'll just kind of give you an idea. I mean, here's like, and I mean, because it's photo paper, it's you know, relatively easy to cut. So we've got one there. So hang on, there, that gives us 3 from there. And then maybe I'll do sort of a corner of these here. because I've done some where it's wings only as well, to see how they would turn out. So now I'm wanting to just cut them up a little bit smaller so they're easier to manage. I probably could have taken that one as well. But without, you know, needing to spend the next, you know, 3 days fussy cutting. So hopefully this will give me enough. So I've got 2 of that one, and then I've got 2 each of those, and then I've got 1 of that, just to see what it's like. So I will, and I'm just going to, I'm not going to be too particular. I'm just going to, and I'm probably going to cut antenna off, because, you know, they're impossible to keep on. Especially under the pressure of, you know, cutting on camera, which is the last thing anyone wants to do, especially me. Because, yeah, fussy cutting is not my forte. I mean, I do it because I need to, but I would really, really love a brother scan and cut. That's on my Christmas wish list, which means that I need to save up some money. Right. Whoops, it was a bit wonky around the body. Here to the wonky donkey, this is the wonky butterfly. But doesn't that look awesome? Oh, I love it. Oh, that turned out exactly how I was thinking. It's a butterfly label. So, yes. So, no, we haven't got anything on the back, but that's okay. I don't mind that. We've got this. Okay, right. I'm going to go have beautiful moments with butterflies and cut these out, and then we can pull it all together. Okay, so here we are. This is what I've cut out. Just show you how they look. And I mean, that's just a sample of what I'd stamped, and I love them. I think they look totally awesome. There is no way that anyone else is going to have butterflies like yours, because no one else can repeat this process and get the same results. It is perfect for making sure or ensuring that you've got butterflies, or even if you want to do flowers, that coordinate perfectly for the colour scheme that you want. I mean, if you want like pink and orange, then yep, you can just use pink and orange. If you want blue and green, or you want blue and pink, whatever combination you want, whatever specific colours you want, you can make it with them. Now, what if you don't have re-inkers? You can colour your paper however you like. Use paints. use ink pads, use coloured pencils, use crayons, use gelatos. Anything that you've got, you can use. Use watercolours. Use the kids' watercolours. You can colour that way. What if you don't have butterfly stamps? Do you have butterfly stencils? You can draw around the butterfly and then cut it out. You can even sketch a butterfly by hand and make up your own butterfly design. It's entirely up to you. It is incredibly flexible, and that is something that I love. And even better, you get all these little wee scraps left over that you can then use as scraps for something else. You know, use them in your clusters. They're fine, perfect for that. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to do this belly band. I am going to attach my flowers. They're butterflies, Paula. It's because it's getting so late. So I have got, I mean, there's my sort of belly band size there. So long as I don't put anything too close to the top or bottom, then we should be fine. So I think I'm going to do like a double layer. And I mean, what you see here is like, some of it has got colour, some of it hasn't. So, whereas like here it's got a lot more colour. And so you could quite easily lift that up if you want texture. Whereas if you've got one that's like white, then you won't want to lift that up too much. So maybe in hindsight, I should have done double-sided photo paper, but you know, we learn. I was, you know, trying this from scratch. I didn't really know what I was doing. I only had an idea. So I'm putting that there. I'm putting those two on there, just based on sort of the colourways that seems to go there. And I just want to like layer it to give it a bit more oomph. And then we're going to put this one with kind of the greens in there. Although, I mean, do we want to layer that one on top of there? We could do. But I think, you know, 2 layered butterflies are enough for what we've got. So this one is 2 separate butterflies. This is, I'm putting the 2 wings on top. So first things first, let's unpin our glue. And I want this kind of in that sort of purpley area. And I'm just going to, even though I'm not gonna, even though the wings aren't gonna lift up, I am just going to glue the body and kind of lift it up. And then I've bent this one a little bit more, even though it is white underneath. I'm okay with that. And we're putting that down there. And I am just kind of lining it up over the head so that they're kind of aligned. And then once the glue's dried, I can lift that up again. And then this one I want in amongst kind of these purples. Oops, excuse my stomach growling there. And then just on this inside here. And on this I'm going to put just on this beside the body, so that the body is basically a second set of wings on the same body. And that one's on the other side. There. Yep. Cool. I like that. Now, yes. Now, I found in my quotes, you remember I told you a couple of days ago, I always seem to find a quote that is perfect for what I want. Well, today we have a winner as well. Let me just put that in, even though I need it very shortly. And that is, with brave wings she flies. So we've got plenty of room up there. So maybe with brave wings she flies. Yep, okay. One last thing that I'm going to do, but first I want to just check, is I was going to put those there. There and there. Do we want to do that? Oops, turn that one around. Yes, I do. And I'm doing this because I sent both ladies, Tanya and Robin, strips of these, or similar, of these rhinestone things. So I figured if I sent it to them, you know, maybe I should use some myself as well. So there we go. There is an idea for how to use them. Oops, glue on my fingers. And that one just has a couple of little stalkies up the top, looking like his antennas. So there we go. I think that is very cool. I love it. That is better than I was hoping for. So now we've got lots of butterflies left over. We've got lots of bases for our belly bands made. We've got one full belly band made. Look at that. That is absolutely gorgeous. So let's just put that on our page. Okay, yes, it's a bit long. And I would probably need to just chop it at the top and the bottom. But that looks awesome. I love it. Oops, can we get it all in? Yep. And just a little bit of bling. Okay. Well, hopefully I've inspired you to try something really different and, you know, out of left field. Look for belly bands just wherever you've got your scraps. If you've got something like big enough, then set it aside. And then don't be afraid to put some weird colour combinations together, because you may find out they look pretty darn good. Okay, I love this. I am going to put it with the other finished ephemera, and I'll put these into my bases that I've made or have altered, and they'll be ready for me to go. So I will see you back in the studio for the next prompt. Bye for now.